This is the last time that an asteroid of this size hit Earth, and they have actually measured tons of stuff about it, and so we can talk about that in a second. Hey, don't worry, guys. You don't need to read that headline on the left of this YouTube video that says, "New look at asteroid that may impact Earth from 5 days ago." There's nothing to worry about, dude. Everything is totally fine. Now, I am going to tell you the ultimate conspiracy theory that I have about why this story might be happening, aside from the fact that an asteroid for real might actually be hitting Earth in 2032. Because if you think I'm making that up, we could also take a look at this. Odds of newly discovered asteroid the odds of a newly discovered asteroid hitting Earth in 2032 keep rising. I think that's the opposite of what we want to happen. And then, again, you can see this all over the place. This is like a completely real story. The chances of asteroid hitting Earth in 2032 are fluctuating, but small. Scientists taking active measures for asteroid with slight chance of hitting Earth. Astronomers discover a 196-foot asteroid with a 1 in 83 chance of hitting Earth. Okay, so it's a lot higher than 1 in 83 now, guys. I hate to break it to you. That is what is going on. So here's what an MIT scientist says about the asteroid that could hit Earth in 2032. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Not like a super big deal, not like that big a deal. But I'm wondering why I'm wearing these headphones. I just realized I literally put these on as if I was live streaming, but I'm not. So I'm going to take them off, and I'm not going to re-record that because that's what a weirdo would do. And if you want to not be a weirdo, why don't you subscribe to my channel so you get updated every time that I drop another video about this forthcoming asteroid impact that might kill us all, because you're going to want to know, and I'm definitely going to cover it. So you could do that if you like. So let's watch this, and we're going to get into this story because, I have a theory on why this would be totally real. It is 95% totally real. But in the 5% that they're making it up, I will tell you exactly why, and I think it's really funny.
We're getting a new look at a large asteroid that has a small but significant chance at impacting planet Earth. Now, this is
I'm sorry. I'm just going to rewind that because that's one of the most ludicrous statements I've ever heard.
A new look at a large asteroid that has a small but significant chance at impacting planet Earth.
I'm sorry, a small but significant chance of impacting Earth? I feel like those are contradictory statements. Small and significant are the opposite of each other.
Now, this is an animation. It was created from images captured on Christmas Day 2024 by a telescope in Chile. It was officially discovered 2 days later by scientists with the NASA-funded Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS. Then another team at JPL mapped out its future path, which gave it a 1% chance of impacting Earth on December 22nd, 2032.
Okay, I actually have two theories on what could be going on with this asteroid. Let's continue.
That's a very rare for an asteroid of this size, but there's still a 99% chance it will not hit Earth at that time. And there's a 0% chance that it'll hit Earth on its next orbit in 2028.
Okay, so yeah, when they say there's any chance of an asteroid hitting Earth, within the next 7 years, that's going to perk up my ears. Now, what you didn't hear is how big is it? How many people will die? Is it an Earth killer? So on, so forth, etc. Okay? So let's go ahead and jump into some of these articles, and we will discuss exactly those questions, and then I'll tell you what could be going on. Actually, I'm going to tell you what I think could be going on right now just because it just popped in my head. Hey, what if these guys at that government agency that track asteroids are like, oh my God, Elon's going to slash our budget. We're all going to lose our jobs. They're like, what could we do? It's like, we could discover an asteroid that's, potentially going to hit the Earth right after the Trump administration is out of office, and then they'd be insane. They'd be insane to axe our budget, right? Because this thing might actually hit Earth. And they're like, but what if people panic? It's like, well, panic is going to protect our jobs. So that's option one for if it was a conspiracy, right? Option two would be also related to Elon. Elon's going crazy. Okay, he's slashing and burning. We need to distract this guy. We need to give him something to do. I mean, he's running SpaceX. Why don't we tell him, let's get him on an asteroid, all right? Let's get him worried about protecting all of human civilization from an asteroid impact versus, all of the things he's doing that are unraveling our entire deep state stranglehold, But most likely it's just real and might hit Earth. And we're going to go over this right now because, again, it says right here, Asteroid 2024 YRV has a 2.2% chance of striking Earth in 7 years. But recent updates keep pushing the odds in the wrong direction. Okay, when I first heard about this story, I heard about it from my dad last night, and he said that there was an over 2% chance that it was going to hit Earth. And I was like, what? And I would assume that all of you hear 2.2 chance and you think the same thing that I did, which is that's way too high. That's way too high. I've played way too much. I've played cards way too many times. Okay? Way too many times, poker and blackjack, knowing how often a 2% chance card does in fact hit, to feel comfortable with an asteroid being on the other end of a bad river card. You know what I mean? So that was a problem. Then this was the first article that I saw, and it's like, never mind, it's actually much higher than that. I'm like, oh my God. Real quick, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Yo Kratom. If you buy in bulk like I do, Yo Kratom is going to be your best option. $60 kilograms if you buy powder, tiny bit more expensive if you like them in capsule form. That's what it is, yokratom.com. Check them out. That is where I shop. It gets here 2 days every single time. So let's jump into the article and we will all learn about this together. The odds of an asteroid crashing into Earth in 2032 keep changing, and not in a good way. Asteroid 2024 YR4 now has a 1 in 45 chance of impacting our planet in 7 years. Dude, the odds are not a huge concern, at least not yet. This estimate is very preliminary. What are you talking about? How is that not concerning? Again, these people have not played enough poker or blackjack, but poker specifically, because you're like, okay, this guy needs a 7 and there's already 2 7s up, he obviously, whatever, he needs a very specific card. He's got a 7 in his hand. There's 2 7s on the board. He needs one more, and that's 1 in 52. And I've seen that card hit multiple times. Like, this is not like a once in a lifetime thing. The odds are not a huge concern, at least not yet. This estimate is very preliminary, and if history repeats itself, those odds will continue to decrease over time. The odds of newly discovered asteroid 22, this was discovered on December 24th, dude. Impacting Earth in 2032 have risen from 1.3 to 2.2, according to NASA's Center for Near-Earth Orbit Studies. This figure is as of Monday morning, February 10th, and has been fluctuating regularly. The asteroid was first spotted December 27, 2024, when it was 515,106 miles away from Earth. Now, that sounds far, you guys. 515,116 miles. I mean, that's a long ways. Of course, the moon is over 60% of the, or I don't know, whatever. The moon's half that, 237,000 miles from Earth. So everybody who's so flippant about when people are like, that we probably, maybe not necessarily for sure went to the moon, and people are like, are you out of your mind? You're like, I'm not saying for sure we didn't go. I'm just saying, like, if you've never really looked into what's behind the moon landing hoax people's opinions, I would say just like scale it back with your certainty until you've actually looked at that stuff, is what I would say personally, if I was going to be very, diplomatic about it, because 237,000 miles away is a very, very long distance. And if you asked a person who's never looked into this, how far have humans traveled off of Earth in any country at any time up until today, aside from the moon landings? What's the furthest that we've traveled off Earth? They'd be like, well, I don't know. How is that relevant? You'd be like, well, it's 600 miles. I'm sorry, go over that again. 600 miles is the furthest that we've traveled off of Earth, aside from the Apollo missions 50 whatever years ago. Okay, I don't think that's correct. Oh, no, it's correct. You can go ahead and look that up, okay? So in all of human history, the furthest we've been able to travel is 600 miles, except for this one random happenstance where we were able to get all the way to the moon and back, 237,000 miles away, without computers. Without computers. Okay? That's just the beginning. Like, that's like, we haven't even started talking about that conversation yet. Like, that's like, that's enough to just at least get a smart person to think to themselves, like, oh yeah, they didn't even have computers. You're like, yeah, I know. It's also 300 degrees on the moon. So there's that, right? There's also this whole thing about us having, faked a bunch of pictures, having like it's not even up for debate. An enormous number of the photographs are fake from the moon. Also, pretty big one. We gave the Van Allen radiation belt, which is the reason we've never traveled further than 600 miles in every other case, is humans cannot safely travel through the Van Allen radiation belt, okay, because they'll die. Okay, well, you can get rovers to Mars, you can get rovers to the moon because there's not humans on board that don't, that no one dies when they go through the Van Allen radiation belt. Okay, so there's that, right? And again, just getting started on that stuff. I'm just saying, right? I can't help myself. Anyway, so the odds of collision are preliminary as astronomers gather more data on the asteroid to refine its chances of impact. Normally, the odds decrease over time until it's close to zero. This happened with asteroid Apophis back in 2004 when astronomers assigned a 2.7% chance of hitting Earth in 2029. This figure has since fallen to practically zero. With Apophis posing no known threat to the Earth, a similar thing happened, yada, yada. Okay, NASA deems asteroids as potentially hazardous if they are between 100 and 165 meters in diameter, and if their orbit brings them within 5 million miles of Earth's orbit. The newly discovered asteroid measures between 130 and 300 feet wide, which is 40 to 90 meters. So 40 to 90 meters. Okay, based on estimates from its reflected light, it's not large enough to cause a global threat, but its unlikely impact would result in some pretty hardcore damage. Should it strike Earth, the asteroid would release about 8 megatons of energy. Wow. Okay. More than 500 times the energy released by the atomic bomb during the Hiroshima, and comparable to the energy released in the Tunguska blast of 1908, according to NASA. That's a crazy story. They just flattened an entire fucking forest in like Siberia or whatever, Russia. There are 7 distinct possible impact events for 2024. YR4 between 2032 and 2074, with the highest likelihood of impact being on December 22nd, 2032. Measures the data. Okay, whatever. Astronomers will continue to monitor the asteroid during each flyby. All right, so that's what it is. And for those of you guys who don't know anything about thermonuclear weapons, let me tell you what an 8 megaton impact would look like. Okay, it would look like. Well, let me put it in atomic bomb terms. Okay, so when Hiroshima was hit with the first atomic bomb. Okay, that was a 13 kiloton atomic bomb. Okay, and then now we'll look at the event. Like this is the last time right here. Like this is the last time that an asteroid of this size hit Earth, and they have actually measured tons of stuff about it. And so we can talk about that in a second, right after we talk about the 8 megatons. But anyway, so it relates to the Hiroshima bomb, 13 kilotons. So that is 13 kilotons is, I don't know, 8 megatons. So whatever. Kilotons is 1,000. Megatons is 1 million. All right. So each megaton is 1,000 kilotons. All right. So again, 1,000 kilotons equals 1 megaton. And the Hiroshima bomb was 13 kilotons. This would be 8 megatons. So you are talking about you're probably talking about 750 Hiroshima bombs all impacting the exact same place at the exact same moment. All right. There has never been anywhere, even in the biggest bomb that's ever hit human beings, where they were targeted, with a weapon, was the following one, which was a plutonium implosion bomb. Like the Hiroshima bomb was a more rudimentary gun design with what do you call it? Oh my God. Uranium. It was a uranium bomb. And It basically just had a, it has like this enriched uranium here and enriched uranium here, and it basically shoots it at the other part. And when it impacts, it's like it causes a chain reaction, massive explosion. 13 kilotons, Hiroshima, evaporated, hundreds of thousands of people die over a long period of time. The Nagasaki one was a plutonium implosion bomb, and it was much bigger. I mean, not much bigger compared to mega, but like I'm pretty sure that one was like 15 to 17 kilotons, right? Now that is much bigger, but like not when we're talking about megaton impacts, right? But when they started testing thermonuclear weapons, that's when you get into megatons, okay? And the first test ever of a thermonuclear weapon it was actually, I don't even know if you could even call it a weapon. Like a thermonuclear explosion was the Ivy Mike test. The reason why I say it wasn't a weapon is because it was this massive like building that they built to test the technology. It wasn't in any way like a deliverable size of a bomb, but it was enormous. And that one was 10 megatons. Okay. And then the Castle Bravo one. Okay. Now let's go back here and watch this together. Okay. This is the Castle Bravo test that was intended to actually be nearly exactly 8 megatons. But they used a solid fuel instead of liquid fuel, and they didn't realize that was going to literally double the yield. And so this ended up being a 15 megaton explosion. So this is as close as you're going to get to like, this is what it would look like in the event that an asteroid actually hit Earth. This is what it looks like. And spoiler, it's so big that there is no point of reference. Okay. Like you're not talking like a Hiroshima bomb blew up an entire small city, like was evaporated. That was, and we're talking about 700 times that. So again, you can't really tell how big this is because there's nothing to kind of reference it against, but this is the biggest thermonuclear explosion that the United States ever did. So the Soviets detonated the Tsar bomb, which was whoa. Sorry about that. They did the Tsar bomb. That one was 50 megatons. And what's so crazy is how slow this happens because it's so enormous. Like, you think about like an explosion like this, how fast that happens when you see it happen, like a regular size one. But this is miles wide. This is like, it's just so crazy that this actually exists. Like that we created technology that does this. It's actually completely idiotic and it makes me angry every time I think about it. But, okay, so let me go back to the, here we go. This is the Tunguska event. So in 1908, deep in the remote recesses of Siberia, a 50 to 100 meter asteroid exploded into the atmosphere over the Tunguska region. The ensuing blast yield estimated to be 3.5 megatons. Okay, so this is smaller. 3 to 5 megatons was the largest ever recorded by humans. Some estimates placed the blast yield up to 30 megatons in TNT, despite the fact that the asteroid was almost completely destroyed as it disintegrated into the atmosphere. Almost about 5 to 10 kilometers, 3 to 6 miles above the Earth's surface, the blast wave was powerful enough to decimate over 800 square miles. 800 square miles. Wow. That is way bigger than I thought it would be. 800 square miles. Fortunately, because of the remote, sparsely populated region, no one is believed to have been killed by the blast. Oh, someone was killed for sure. You really believe that there was not one person living out there? Come on. The first research expedition to the site in 1927 failed to find any meteorite fragments at the site, leading to speculation that the blast was perhaps the result of a comet impact. However, later expeditions did identify tiny spherules with high nickel to iron concentrations, consistent with metals originating from cosmic, not terrestrial origins. An impact event on the scale of Tunguska impact occurs on average every 200 to 300 years. What? Is that true? every 200 to 300 years, an 800 square mile amount of Earth gets flatlined? That doesn't sound right. All right, we're going to wrap it up on that one. So we'll keep an eye on this story, obviously.